There was a lot going on this week on Days of Our Lives, including people jumping out of buildings, get out of jail free cards being distributed like candy, and unexpected alliances developing. However, not all of the surprises were pleasant ones. Jump and miss? Even though I'm really loving Dimitri, Billy Flynn's delivery as Chad's new nephew irritated him to no end was hilarious. I can't help but think they totally whiffed on his origin. Last week, I made the assumption that he would blend in almost flawlessly with the child she was purportedly carrying before showing up in the 1980s. However, rather than asking, is he or isn't he Bo-san, they simply created Megan's hidden child after she had been thawed. Days is typically better at manipulating history, whether or not we want them to. Anyone remember Harris Michaels being unearthed? After all, they gave Dimitri's father this chance, and now, eighth random European gentleman. That certainly qualifies as a shocking revelation of the worst kind, I suppose. Nevertheless, there's always a chance that they'll change things and turn him into someone we care about. Family disputations. I enjoy the concept of people like Kristen and Megan joining the company, despite the silliness of their reviving, getting out of jail, and having a say in Demera. And I really hope they're both playing their own Demeras, and rather than supporting Stefan or EJ, have plans to turn on them all and seize power. Realistically, it is absurd for anyone to vote two sociopaths into leadership of a publicly traded company, even by the norms of their own family. Even still, it doesn't rank particularly high on the Salem scale of absurdity. Even so, I'd excuse it to witness the distress on EJ and Stefan's faces as their beloved toy was taken away. Overall, whereas I haven't felt much for the Demera fighting in a while, I'm actually looking forward to watching the arguments at this dinner party as it gets underway next week. Simply put, I'm hoping Chad and Dimitri return in time for it as well, even if they must take a coach flight. Neither match. The Colin story is becoming more serious, as revealed by next week's spoilers, or at least make an effort. Jeddah is debating whether Colin was torturing Talia as they discuss the emotional abuse aspect of the narrative. Look, he was definitely, and it might be worthwhile to tell this narrative with someone else. Within a matter of weeks, Colin was shoved down our throats and Talia appeared out of nowhere. We hardly got to know Talia well enough to have an emotional connection with her. Additionally, pressuring your partner to exact revenge on the persons you claim killed your parents is considerably less subtle and subtle emotional abuse. I never saw myself typing that. People who abuse their relationships emotionally are frequently adept at putting on a different front to the outside world. Colin was all we ever saw with Talia. Additionally, because we just saw abhorrent Colin and were unable to witness how he had come to encircle her, we were completely unable to comprehend why she was with him. A real-world problem like this just doesn't feel like it belongs in this story. From the drugged boink biscuits to the victims falling onto the town square, it was difficult for me to take anything seriously. Unexpectedly, something fell through an awning. Similar to how Aladdin's opening credits looked, it is unsuccessful to attempt to add a serious element to a story that is categorically not serious. Visit the kosher side. Another thing Colin consistently does is soften Sloane, which, as Lori noted last week, we don't require. There is a tight line between humanizing someone and smoothing off their harsh edges, but the show did an excellent job of humanizing her enough that she was winning over viewers. I prefer Sloane's edges, as do many Days fans, I believe. Save them. Keep the animosity between her and Nicole. I'm concerned about this collaboration. Sloane is the ideal candidate for an epic rivalry, something Days of Our Lives has been lacking recently. Stefan and EJ's games just aren't cutting it. But it's possible that she'll suddenly turn on Nicole, crossing our fingers. However, it appears like the only thing left to decide is who would reveal more information first, Sloane or Tony. Will Tony's allegiance prevail, or will Sloane feel it would be better to flip on Nicole and advise Eric to flee? Or perhaps they'll do it almost simultaneously, with Nicole stranded between two irate boyfriends and Eric and EJ finding out. What do you wager? EJ or Eric's child? I keep vacillating. Could we expect another Demera from them? In addition, given how awful Nicole and Eric are as a couple, would they actually knot them together? Okay, sure, both of those questions have an obvious yes answer. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Daily Bulletin News, and stay with us.